Heisman hopefuls with championship aspirations. Chad Kelly, Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook's off and running. He's got another gear.
Kelly throws for the end zone. Touchdown.
Breaking tackles, makes a cut.
Touchdown, Florida State.
Kelly, deep ball. He's got it.
Lowers the shoulder, goes airborne. Touchdown.
Their journey begins. Ole Miss ranked number 11 preseason, and Florida State ranked number 4. Serious challenge for both these programs. I think we're glad, the fans are glad they chose to take on the challenge here tonight. Kirk, there are so many storylines. Let's begin though with perhaps the star in this game, Dalvin Cook, healthy and ready to go. He played hurt last year and still had a monster year.
Yeah, that's important because to look at him right now, he looks like he might be 10, maybe 12 pounds heavier. Pure muscle. Looking at him on the field before this game, and you're right, he's moving around a lot better. First thing that a great back has patience. You'll see that tonight from Dalvin Cook on their stretch play, and he's liable to find a hole anywhere because with that patience, he has outstanding vision. And if you're a Florida State fan, you know what I'm talking about. He a lot of times will take that play, take the ball on the play side, and he'll find a hole all the way to the backside. It's something that Ole Miss is very concerned about with young safeties in this football game. And the last thing he has is tremendous quickness and burst. Here the safety comes over a little bit late, gets a stiff arm, shows you the power that he has. This was early last year against Clemson. Even with that hamstring, he still takes it all the way to the house. So tonight, if you're Ole Miss, you have to load up and take your chances at the line of scrimmage to try to negate him. With a freshman quarterback in Francois, you want to try to put the game on his shoulders. You can't let number 4 beat you, which means you have to be gap sound, and you can't give up any easy ones.
Gap sound, one of those football cliches. What it means is you make one mistake, gone. And number 4 is
That's
gone.
right.
The better he runs tonight, the easier it makes it on Deondre Francois, the redshirt freshman quarterback, making his college debut right here in his hometown. Samantha Ponder, field side, with more on him.
Yeah, Chris, it's hard to hear you because it feels like a Noles home game, but I'll tell you about Deondre Francois. They know he has all of the physical tools. He's won over the team in practice. The big question Jimbo Fisher told me he has is how does he handle the mental side of this, the big stage? So they contacted a guy who never shies away from the big stage. Cam Newton, Carolina Panthers quarterback, gave Deondre a phone call this morning, and they talked for a long time about staying in the moment, not letting this get too big, and of course from Cam, always keeping a smile.
And trusting the process. Well, the Noles won the toss deferred, and another freshman, Logan Tyler, will boot it away to Carlos Davis for the Rebels. And it'll be a touchback. So, Kirk, we're going to see Chad Kelly, the senior, out of Buffalo. Of course, the nephew of Jim Kelly, came here by way of Clemson, where he was dismissed, and he's made the most of his time.
Another guy that took advantage of the offseason. They say he's one of the most dedicated in the weight room. You'll see his tremendous arm strength tonight. It really opens up Hugh Freeze as a play caller. Creativity. When things break down, he has the feet to make you pay for that. And then the toughness, the physicality to be able to show you he can sit in that pocket or take hits. He's done it from Alabama last year, all the other SEC defenses, and he'll have to do it tonight against Florida State.
They hope not too many hits, because I think he may be the most crucial player in college football. There's just no experience behind him. It will not feel like a neutral game for Kelly in that offense.
You see 5 receivers in the game, and they have stretched him sideline to sideline.
Kelly rolls, takes a shot over the middle, and it's underthrown, incomplete. Marcus Lewis was in on the coverage against Evan Ingram.
What they want to do is create tempo, and the way Chad Kelly does that, and they're already going to go tempo right now. It's kind of an equalizer against the athletic ability of Florida State.
Short completion on the far side, muscling for 6 yards is Ingram, and it'll be 3rd down.
Look at Derwin James, one of the more talented players in the country, number 3. He'll be very active and doing a lot of different things.
Kelly well protected, loops the ball to a wide open man, A.J. Brown, the true freshman from Starkville, rumbling into Florida State territory. The huge recruit out of the Bulldogs' backyard makes makes a big play.
We just talked about tempo. Look at Florida State. James is coming over. You also see Lewis coming over. Nobody's behind. They completely lost him in coverage. This is what tempo can do to you, and a lot of different looks. They had 5 wide receiver look. They're attacking, and if you don't communicate and make sure you're on the same page, you're going to bust coverage, and that's exactly what Florida State did there.
They got 36 yards. Kelly fires again, far side, and slipping, and then being hit after the play and drawing a flag from Derwin James is Van Jefferson, the redshirt freshman receiver. And a mental mistake, an emotional mistake by one of the best players in the country.
He's an emotional guy. It wasn't necessarily a fierce hit, but Jefferson is down.
Play was over. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 15 yards, automatic first down.
Exactly what you have to guard against on an opening night.
Yeah, and it feeds right into what Chad Kelly is trying to do. Again, tempo, deception, creativity. They want this athletic, big, powerful, strong Florida State defense on its heels. They don't want them to have a chance to be able to dig in and come after this offensive line.
Hakeem Judd is the back to the right of Kelly. But the quarterback keeps it and now throws it to Ingram down inside the 5. Takes a big shot, holds on, but it'll be first and goal.
They brought him over in motion. He got lost in coverage. The linebacker that time, Hoskins, did not pick him up. He's all alone. Great poise by the quarterback Kelly to wait until he got open.
First and goal. Handed off inside. It's the first running play called tonight, and it is Hakeem Judd, the 230-pounder. A senior who will have to be productive at that position. They like his physicality.
See, he wants tempo, tempo, tempo. He's trying to get Chad Kelly ready to go. And Chris, red zone execution for both teams. Touchdowns versus field goals.
Kelly, slant, caught, touchdown, DeMaurier Stringfellow. And the Rebels strike in less than 2 minutes.
Well, that's the way you draw it up for Ole Miss. Great drive. Remember Laquan Treadwell, how big he was, often isolated by himself. Here, it's Stringfellow's turn. He's a big receiver at 6'2", 211 pounds. He's got to win one-on-one battles himself. He gets to the inside of McFadden, the corner, and a good throw by Kelly up high where he can make a play on the ball. Great execution.
Gary Wunderlich knocks the extra point through. Stringfellow, one of those guys that has to answer the question, can he be the featured receiver? He was a huge recruit, went to Washington and transferred here, sat out. This is the second year with the Rebels, and it's off to a good start. So here comes Deondre Francois, played his high school ball at Olympia High School here in Orlando, then went to IMG Academy, where he was tutored by Chris Weinke, of course, the ex-Knowles Heisman Trophy winner, and you couldn't script it better. He's back in his hometown, where he played high school ball, where they played their spring game for his debut, but he's down 7-0. Yeah. He wouldn't have scripted that.
No, and we've seen a lot of freshman quarterbacks play over the last few nights in this opening weekend, and the last game of the weekend, Francois gets his chance.
Nathan Noble is a kickoff specialist, his 4th year doing that. It's a very short boot, fielded on the right side of the Knowles. Make it out to the 29-yard line, and that's where Deondre Francois will take over. Of course, Sean McGuire's injury opened the door for Francois, who had a pretty spectacular spring. Can he earn the trust of his teammates in a game situation the way he has in practice?
Well, he has all the physical tools. He's got to play with tremendous poise, and they're already down 7-0. You and I were on the field prior to the game, and we've seen him throw, but to see him in person, it gives you a whole different perspective. Big arm, again, everything you would want, but how does he do when he's out there and he's seeing coverages that aren't the same that he would see throughout the month of August against his own defense?
Yeah, he really does have extraordinary arm talent, as the coaches say. The ball just explodes out of his hand. Alvin Cook deep in the I formation. He is knocked down after a 1-yard gain by Miles Hartsfield, a true freshman starter.
That's the matchup. That's the matchup, is the safeties. They're breaking in young safeties, true freshman safety in Hartsfield. He's heard all summer about going up against Dalvin Cook. He's been challenged by his coaches if he's going to be sound against that run game. That time he did not hesitate at all and lowered the boom that time on Cook.
Francois lofting it downfield for Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook gets a first down at the Ole Miss 35. Tough to cover it.
You know, this is a wheel route, but it almost looked like a broken play. I don't think Dalvin Cook, because of the traffic, I don't think he fully expects to get the football. I mean, he's staring Cook down. There's a couple Ole Miss defenders there. They broke on the ball. They just didn't make a play on the ball that time.
He's not afraid to put the ball in tight spaces, is he? Francois rolls out. Man wide open in the flat. And the catch is made by Rudolph. First down and a flag after the tackle. Is this the first penalty on Ole Miss? Tony Connor in the vicinity.
Tony Connor's going to bail out Rudolph. You know, Rudolph, the baton's been handed to him to become the dominant FSU receiver. Turn upfield. You can't run out of bounds there. You've got to put your foot in the ground and get upfield. When you're the #1 guy, you got to make that play. And Connor comes over. That was a very marginal call there.
Result of the play is a first down. After the play was over, unnecessary roughness. Late hit out of number 12 in the deep. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he might have been a step out of bounds. That's a very, very gray area. I guess because he had already called him, he is tiptoeing down the sideline, so maybe initially he was out of bounds, but that again, questionable call there. But
maybe there'd been a whistle. They look like they were trying to signal, but you can't expect the defender to always hear the whistle.
If he's healthy or if he becomes the guy, you put your foot in the ground. There's nobody behind Connor. He walks to the end zone.
First and goal. Cook in the I formation. He gets it. And once again, heavy traffic in the middle. Dave Katire, our officiating guru. Dave, what was your assessment of that penalty on the sideline there?
Well, hey, Herbie hit it pretty good. The problem is he is out of bounds, technically a foul, but he's moving forward in the direction of the goal line instead of turning out. The defender makes a normal tackle on it, and it's one that I'd let go.
There's Connor heading back out there. Final minute of the first quarter. And the Noles, not much on first down. What will they do now with the young quarterback down here in the red zone?
Well, you would think you'd have to rely on Cook, but the tight end in this area is also really a great target in Izzo.
He's in the left of the formation. Francois looking to the right, delivers for the end zone. Jump ball over the head of Rudolph as Bridges, who's back in there, was in coverage.
Good to see Bridges back out. We had talked about how they lost Webster, their best cover man. Bridges went out with an apparent injury, but is back out there on Rudolph.
8 seconds to go in the first quarter. Sam?
Cation issues right now with Deondre Francois. Jimbo Fisher actually tried to get a timeout there and couldn't get it. Bringing these guys back together right now, but they're having some issues.
Well, they're going tempo here, but because Florida State substituted, umpire steps over the ball and gives Ole Miss a chance to substitute as well.
Empty backfield. 2 in the play clock. If he got the snap off, barely. It's incomplete in the end zone. It'll be 4th down, very close to a delay of game there. And this field goal attempt will be the final play of the quarter. They tried to target Auden Tate.
You know, this is part of his youth. You've got everybody spread out. It's man to man, and he ends up throwing the ball out here where there's two guys in coverage. You've got 2 guys right there, one on the inside, one on the outside. You've got to find the one-on-one matchup that you like. And again, that's just part of being young and something he can learn from.
Here's Aguayo, but it's not Roberto, it's Ricky Aguayo, the younger brother of the great Florida State All-American. No redshirt season for him, unlike Big Brother, but his college debut is a successful one as he knocks through the chip shot, but not what the Noles were looking for in that drive. He made a decision down here very early in the spring game on this field, and Nate Andrews, one of the veterans, made a pick. He overcame that, he bounced back. Very nearly cost him a chance at a field goal. And the kickoff is boomed way over the end line. Now let's get that Doak Campbell Stadium feel. Noles fans something to cheer about. Making it tough on this offense. There's a handoff. It's the first carry by Eric Sweeney. And he's knocked down. Freshman out of Riverdale, Georgia, 4-star touted recruit. So as a lightning quick start for the Rebels, they struck first in less than 2 minutes. Noles at a field goal late in the first quarter. Ole Miss on top 7-3 after 15 minutes here in Orlando. The Rebels football will be 2nd down and long. Eric Sweeney, who suffered a stress fracture to his leg last year, had to redshirt. Came back, worked so hard to get healthy. Arrived this season with a chip in his shoulder, Kirk, and after his very first carry, knocked out. They're looking at his knee right now. We'll keep you posted.
He's in a lot of pain walking off that field.
Kelly throws a dart. Ingram, who's been busy so far, is knocked down across the 33. It'll be 3rd and short.
You know, Chad Kelly and Evan Ingram worked very, very hard in the offseason. Ingram, a 4-year starting tight end, almost a receiver. They flex him out so many times. But the 3rd downs, they want to go to him as often as possible with some option routes.
On 3rd down, a little option look, and Kelly darts for a 1st down. Takes a big shot inside the 25 by McFadden. But again, Kelly's shown his dual threat skill set.
And a nice block by Jordan Sims. It almost looked like a broken play. It was so slow and developing, but he didn't give up on it and just pitch it. He found that the defense was overflowing. He picked up a good block by Sims and gets some yards, and boom, gets hit there at the end.
14-yard gain. Kelly, another dart. Ingram open with room. Barrels down inside the 10.
Remember, you have the starting linebacker Hoskins out. Patty is in to replace him, and that's just Ingram settling down in the middle of the defense. Good connection there with the quarterback.
Kelly on the keeper, weaving his way down inside the 5 to the 3. And his uncle Jim, of course, the NFL Hall of Famer, looks on.
Well, I love how he came off of that fake, and he knew he was going to keep it the entire way. Again, he gives that little bit of pump fake, makes the defense hesitant just for a second, but he runs the ball with authority, especially down inside this area.
Kelly, jump ball, caught, touchdown, DK Metcalf, the true freshman. A hometown kid, welcome to college football.
I don't know if it's just something you and I with Chad Kelly, but you talk about catching a break. He throws it right into the hands of McFadden, who's in perfect position. But the freshman at 6'4" from Oxford, Mississippi, fights for the ball, and that's what made it go up into the air. And then he's obviously focused and able to lock in to be able to make the catch. But Metcalf bails out Kelly and makes a great play.
Metcalf, along with A.J. Brown, have made a big play earlier. They got the top 2 receiver prospects in the state of Mississippi. One from their hometown, one from the Bulldogs' hometown. Metcalf, Kirk, they say he's got a huge upside. They wondered, were the lights too big for him tonight?
No,
He shine right away. I don't think so.
He's feeling it. I want to go back and watch it. Watch this play. Great job by McFadden. Position, finds the ball. But Metcalf knocks that ball away from him. He had an interception.
He had to play
this.
DB first.
Right. He knocks it away, almost kind of just knocking it away from McFadden to himself, and then comes up with the touchdown.
So Nathan Noble boots it away. And Whitfield will decide not to take it out. Flushed. Sacked. They do have some players up front, and they got some linebackers who can get after the quarterback. That's DeMarquise Gates.
And they do a good job with his stunt. They actually bring a blitz with Gates coming off the edge to the right. He's here, but you're also going to see a stunt work to the inside. Has an impact as well. See the twist up there up front, flushes him, and there's the athletic ability from the leading tackler a year ago, Gates, who brings him down. Nice call by Dave Womack, the defensive coordinator there.
Gates has both of their sacks. He plays what they call the stinger position. That was a stinging loss for this Noles offense. Got to hurry on 3rd and 20. Once again, see the short arm throw. Not a very good series for Francois at all.
When you see a young quarterback throwing the ball low like that, he's short arming. He's aiming the ball. He's not just getting back there and letting it go. 1st and 10, he threw one down into the feet of Dalvin Cook. Now 3rd down and long. They're probably not going to pick up a 1st down here, more than likely. But again, watch him aim the football. Nose is down and goes right into the ground.
Not quite the same. Once the light goes on, you start playing for real against a defense like this. Tyler in to punt again. Rebels come after it, and the lefty freshman gets it away. And fielded for a fair catch at the 42.
It's not just Francois.
With Sweeney out, they bring in Eugene Brasley, number 23, and he can't get much trying around the right end. Sam?
Yeah, Chris, you're talking about how Jimbo's handling his quarterback right now, and I've seen him go all in on a quarterback, and this is not it. He knows he has to tread softly here. His questions to Deondre so far have been more out of trying to understand what he saw. He keeps saying, what happened?
Kelly throws it up, and the catch is made by Stringfellow. He sees all these young guys making plays, now the veteran getting involved.
Great coverage that time by Lewis. He had a step actually on the receiver. So what does Kelly do? Back shoulder. Great throw.
Got 21 yards. Kelly firing again right down the middle. Wide open. Down inside the red zone. Taz Zettergren, the backup tight end.
So reminiscent of the first drive where Florida State was confused with the looks and the tempo. Another busted coverage just like on the first drive. This time they're fortunate to make the tackle before he got all the way to the end zone.
The senior backup with a 37-yard gain. Play action again. Kelly batted down there. That'll maybe give the Noles defense a breather. Josh Sweat with the pressure.
I love that Charles Kelly has a defense. It's on its heels, confused a bit there on that last play. And what do they come back with? A blitz. Go after Chad Kelly. Instead of getting conservative, they come after him from both sides. And Sweat ends up getting in, who should have a big year. You know, he's up to 250 pounds. Chris, he played a lot last year as a true freshman. They expect big things from him this year coming off the edge. But I love the call there by Kelly after the mental error from the secondary.
Kelly across the middle. Touchdown! Evan Ingram. A monster night so far. And the Rebels stretch it.
Well, he saw a matchup that he wanted, and we talked about in the offseason. What did he work on? The relationship with Evan Ingram. Ingram is going to split the safeties, work right behind the linebackers, and it's a heck of a throw. Right there. Leads him. That's anticipating from Chad Kelly. He led Ingram to the inside. Ingram wasn't even looking for the football. But that's the offseason work that Kelly and Ingram put in. But that was third and forever. Checks to it and gets the touchdown.
3rd and 17, a touchdown pass. The 7th catch already for Ingram. Kelly throwing for 3 touchdowns. Backing up some of that offseason swag talk.
But look at the hole off to the right. And the receiver, Jefferson, would have walked into the end zone. So he ends up taking the tougher route with his guy Ingram. But Jefferson is all alone, nobody within 20 yards off to the right-hand side.
Not much for Dalvin. 9th carry and another flag. It's getting chippy out there. Officials trying to keep control of it. Face mask signal looks like.
Well, to me, it looked like Izzo and Hampton
foul,
got locked up.
Hands to the face. Number 4 on the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic down.
They flag C.J. Hampton working against the tight end.
See, that's where you're up 21-3. All the momentum in the world. Everything's going well. The defense is playing well. I would run him until he drops next week at practice. Those kind of mistakes. Not only do you give Florida State a chance to be able to keep this drive going, but now you change the complexion of the game and they go down and score. Watch at the end, right to the right there. They lock up. Grab this face mask.
Ball moved to the 28. Francois throws back to a wide open Dalvin Cook, who collects it and dropped the ball before he crossed the goal line. Dalvin Cook drops it. Noles keep it at the 3. But wow, that kind of night so far for Dalvin.
Yeah, and I don't think he wasn't doing anything that was uncalled for. He was just getting ready to look like he might grab the ball with both hands to go into the end zone.
So fortunate pylon cam gives you a view.
He's lucky that Ole Miss didn't recover it, and he's also lucky it didn't go through the end zone for a touchback.
Couldn't have worked out any better once he dropped it. So 1st and goal. That's a low snap, and that messes up the timing, and Cook is smothered.
Well, in a busy weekend of college football, this drive is not going to go down as a clinic tape at all for either side of the ball.
No, this is
this
not
might
one
be
for
the
time
ugliest.
capsule.
This might be the ugliest drive of the last 4 or 5 days.
Nowhere near the Hall of Fame in Atlanta. No. But the Noles, desperate to cut into the lead, have a 2nd and goal here in the 8th play.
Roll him out away from trouble.
Yep. Low throw. No. Rudolph couldn't come up with it. It'll be 3rd and goal.
He's comfortable rolling out. He actually had his man. Ball's thrown low. Still, Rudolph makes that catch more often than not.
Another flag down, Kirk.
Yeah, Rudolph should make that catch.
Yeah, he should have. Comes back as the veteran leader of the receiving corps. There was a flag down. They didn't move the ball. They may have picked the flag up.
Yeah, I think
there
they
was
did.
one down there.
Yep. All right, so it's 3rd down. Rudolph is a guy that draws most of the attention. You have Cook. But again, you wonder, because of the way Ole Miss is going to come after Francois, if you move him around.
Got to hurry. From the pocket, a dart, incomplete. Tried to get the ball again to Rudolph, but it's 4th down.
That's the matchup. I mean, you'll take that all day with Gates, a linebacker, on your best receiver, Rudolph, and he threw that. That ball was thrown with a lot of velocity. Now remember, he held on to that ball so long that it gave Ole Miss plenty of time to get to him. And I think he felt that urgency. He had to throw it with everything he had just to get the ball out of his hands.
So Ricky Aguayo, good from 25 earlier. This from 21. And Roberto's little brother knocks it right through. So the Noles in the red zone, a couple of field goals. The Rebels 3 for 3 with touchdowns in their red zone trips. That's the difference.
Yeah, we again talked about that. This is just a miscue by Dalvin Cook, one of the best players in the country. He's fortunate the ball did go out of bounds. They maintained possession. Twice they tried to go to Travis Rudolph. That ball is thrown just too hard for Rudolph to bring it down for a touchdown, settle for another field goal.
It's a 71-yard field goal drive. Should have been a touchdown, but Dalvin Cook dropping the ball 3 yards from the goal line with no one around him. And then Travis Rudolph, the top receiver in the team, couldn't come up with one of the short throws. So they settle for 3. Logan Tyler to boot it away. It's Carlos Davis. And we will see a kickoff return as Davis bobbled the ball initially, sidesteps a couple of the coverage mans and earns the return out to the 20. And Kelly shows how dangerous he is as a runner. How frustrating for a defense.
When you play man-to-man on 3rd down, this is your worst nightmare, because the quarterbacks who can read coverage, launch out to the middle, just opens up. Everybody's in coverage with their back turned to the quarterback.
14-yard gain on 3rd and 10. And now Kelly working the sideline again. That's out of Bojo. Defended well. The ball's knocked loose at the last minute by Trey Marshall.
Yeah, Marshall and James, you could make a pretty strong argument that both these guys are as good at tandem of safeties as there is in the country. Adebayo actually looked him up, saw him, felled him, and a good job of separating Adebayo from the ball by Trey Marshall. Physical safety. See it all the time. Adjustments, they have the boards, Hughes involved, they got the coverage, split safeties.
Kelly ducks under again. Trademark pump fake, this time dropped at the 49-yard line by Thomas. He's got the small play sheet now. It's a change in his method of play calling, isn't it?
Yeah, he used to work all week and get together with everybody in the staff and spend 5 days putting his play chart together.
Now it's a one-pager.
Yeah.
No flag. Now a flag comes in late. That was Marcus Lewis defending on DeMarcus Lodge.
Boy, that was a questionable call.
It wasn't thrown right away. It was thrown from deep.
Watch the timing of Lewis breaking on the ball. Well, he got his right hand in there. It's actually a really good call. Happened so fast. He hooked him with his right arm.
Dave Katai, is that how you saw that good call, the 10th penalty on the Noles?
I did, because he hooked him and turned him. If he doesn't turn him, no foul.
You and Dave are always on the same page. Kelly loops it. Attaboyjo running free, makes the catch out of bounds. And the Rebels threatening to blow this open before halftime.
Marshall coming over late. Marshall slant and go. See how he's coming over late right there. He is completely out of phase that time, and he stepped out of bounds before he got close to the end zone.
Oh, no doubt he did have the ball though, just barely. Catch, foot.
Yeah, he's in.
Yeah, there.
With the right foot down first, then out of bounds. But Trey Marshall looking over to Charles Kelly, trying to make sure he has the right coverage. Had to find out where the receiver was that he was covering. Comes running over. Ball is snapped while he's still trying to come over.
We fake it to him. Kelly for the end zone. Off the receiver's hands and almost caught. Attaboyjo had a chance at it. And then diving for it.
Yeah, I don't know if he was going to Attaboyjo or if he was trying to throw it to Ty Quick, 43 behind him, who nobody was covering. He's all by himself. If he was trying to get it to Quick, a little bit of a softer touch, just kind of up and over. But Attaboyjo saw it coming to him and got a hand on it.
Second down handoff. Judd. Sutter steps and gets into the end zone. Rebels in the red zone. Stay perfect tonight.
Great job by the right side in setting this up. Alex Givens, freshman out of Nashville, comes up with a nice block. Watch Jordan Sims, the right guard. Watch him work on the right side and open that up. Then right here, it's just one-on-one. Make him miss, pick up a block from the receiver, walk into the end zone.
Hakeem Judd, one of the guys that has to step up at the running back position. With Jordan Wilkins suspended, Jalen Walton gone, and the senior, who's been very, very patient, wants to make the most of this season.
4 red zone trips, 4 touchdowns.
3 passes and then that run. And the Noles are going to get the ball, start the third quarter. They got 3:04 to work with to try to cut into this. Whitfield trying to create a spark on special teams, spun around and knocked down at the 25-yard line. The 11th penalty for Florida State. On 1st and 25, there's a high throw. Catch made and knocked out of bounds is Rudolph.
I like getting a quarterback who's making his first start down 22 with plenty of time left. When you get the ball back, just get it out of his hands. They're going to give you soft coverage. They're going to give you the underneath routes. Get the ball out of his hands. And just seeing Sean McGuire, we talked about him earlier. You wonder at some point, because of the experience and his ability to throw the ball, if they would go to him in the second half.
Fisher said he would certainly not have a quick hook with Francois. And 2nd and 16. Wide open. Bobo Wilson makes a catch and scampers out of the 40, and it's Ole Miss's secondary that makes a mistake.
And with Ken Webster out, the guy they're going to continue to go after is number 1, Tony Bridges. Watch this. Watch him break and turn to the post, and he doesn't even see Bobo Wilson break to the outside. If you're going to leave these Florida State receivers one-on-one against number 1 without a safety behind him, they're going to attack him. And now he comes off the field, and Carlos Davis will come in for him.
He kind of limps off there, grabbing at that hamstring. 1.5 to go. Noles have a timeout. They back off. Again, Cook underneath. And not escape. And stopped short of the first down by Carlos Davis.
You hit a couple plays downfield, and it makes the Ole Miss defense change. They got two safeties deep, and it opens up the underneath throws. And again, you're giving it to a great athlete in space.
Fisher signaling for tempo here. Francois from the pocket. Batted down. He was knocked down after the throw. Again, pressured by the men up front.
Well, Fidel Brown has made the start, but John Youngblood, who's wearing Chucky Mullins' number from the left, watch the power. He just pushes the left tackle, Johnson, right into the quarterback.
Got the Chucky Mullins award, but just he's an all-around model student athlete. Does stuff in the community. He's given that honor as one player is on the team every year. Need a yard on third down, Kirk. Cook to the left of the quarterback. Dalvin's got it, and he's got a first down and more. Stumbling, looked like he had open field, is spotted down at the 15.
Great job that time by the offensive line. Ole Miss brought the blitz. Good job by Wilson Bell, but he actually follows Kelly 74 around and almost hit that for a touchdown. But it was a blitz. The line that time ready for it, picked up the blitzes to give the talented running back Cook a chance.
Francois flushed again, throws off his back foot, nobody there. Haynes pressured him, along with Jones. 37 seconds. They still have a timeout to play with.
It's amazing. Here we are in a crucial point in the game, and we've seen a lot of freshmen out there, but because of the injuries to the secondary, how about Jalen Julius, a freshman, out there competing against the best receiver of Florida State's Travis Rudolph. Have a safety in Hartsfield, another true freshman, behind to help him out.
Francois pressured, hit, delivers a strike and a touchdown. Travis Rudolph right in the middle of the field. As you called for, he took a huge shot, but finally the Noles find the end zone.
Well, we just talked about the middle of the field, attacking the middle of the field. They motion him here and work into the middle. See all the space in this area. Nice design by Jimbo Fisher. Rudolph, his best receiver, right there. And how about the young freshman growing up right there? Waited until the last second until he had Rudolph where he wanted him for the touchdown.
Marquise Haynes is a pass rusher extraordinaire. He's going to do that job on Sunday. He leveled the young quarterback who stood in and delivered a much needed score for the Noles. Superb first half for Kelly as the Rebels were perfect in the red zone. To Sam.
Coach, first things first, is your quarterback okay?
Yes, he is. He's fine.
So he'll go back in when we start
yes.
back.
And he's playing one heck of a half of football. The guys around him need to step up and be the experienced guy.
Let's talk about that real quick. Your O-line, there seem to be some communication issues. What's going on up there?
They're missing blocks and just jumping, getting antsy. Got to quit it, got to grow up. That boy's playing a heck of a game. Dalvin getting his feet back on the ground. Travis, we can move the ball. We just got to grow up and have some consistency. Quit putting self-inflicted wounds with the penalties.
I'll let you save your voice. Chris?
It may be too late. Could someone else step in and make the halftime speech?
That's tough to communicate down there.
He had a lot to say before the game. You probably have more to say now. The Rebels lead at 28-13 in Orlando. The halftime report coming up right after these messages. Ole Miss on top 28-13. The lead was 22, cut to 15. The Noles late touchdown drive, and they'll get the ball to begin this third quarter. It's been a busy first half, already 27 pass attempts for Francois. Again, back in his hometown. If you weren't with us at the top, redshirt freshman who played on this field in high school and in the Noles spring game, trying to pull off some second half heroics. Back down to Sam.
Yeah, Chris, I caught up with Hugh Freeze and asked him if he expected this sort of offensive success really early, and he said, to be honest, yeah, I did. I thought our tempo really confused him. So I asked him about complacency. He said our defense was so bad and blew so many assignments, it wasn't hard to get them fired up in there. That they, of course, lost their best corner, and he said if we want to make a statement and elevate our status in college football, we have to finish this strong.
That's a good point, Sam. Plenty to talk about on both sides, because the Rebels did kind of break down some penalties, some missed assignments to let the Noles cut the gap. Whitfield and Wilson are deep, and another touchback. Unofficial coach. Play action on the first play. Francois to the edge, fires far side. It's complete. And knocked down after the play is Whitfield. It's a good catch, no flag, and the Noles are playing with some tempo up near midfield.
How about that? First play of the game, first play of the second half, rather. He comes out, rolls his quarterback away from any pressure. Plenty of time, and I think they're confident with their ability to attack this secondary. Remember, injury to Webster is out. Bridges has been out. They're playing some young guys that are inexperienced on the edge.
Cook, delay. It's been tough going for the Heisman candidate tonight. That fumble that went out of bounds there ended up being a 4-point play because they couldn't punch it in from the 3, had to settle for 3 points.
He's had a very, very quiet night running the football. Only 33 yards. Has been involved, as you mentioned, in catching the ball out of the backfield with 6 receptions. Ole Miss determined to stop him and this running game. Can they do it for 60 minutes?
Francois in the pocket, delivers wide open over the middle. Wilson darting down to the 25-yard line. The Noles are in business again.
See, that's the adjustments. Nice job of protecting him. Get the ball underneath. Mix up in coverage. You had a couple guys playing man, and Carlos Davis was not playing man. He let Wilson go underneath. There was nobody left in the middle, and big yards.
2 catches by the SETI senior receiver so far. Their first down throw, gets it out. Dalvin Cook takes a shot and is wrestled down. A physical battle there with Terry Caldwell, the linebacker. Always tipped by Haynes on the way out.
It sure was. Good job by Cook to secure the ball, and a really good job by Caldwell, the senior, being able to make that tackle out in space against Dalvin Cook. That's a tough ask. To use whatever you can.
Wrestling match
to slow him down.
Field. 2nd and 4. Cook picks his way. Boy, you see the Rebels dart right up in that, is this the A gap?
Yeah, well, they're shooting gaps, and they're changing their slant. This time it's actually Gross, Isaac Gross. Watch him shoot his gap here, and he has such quickness that Rick Leonard didn't have any chance at all to try to come down and protect that gap. It made it easy. They're mixing up the way they're slanting and angling, making it tough on the communication of that offensive line when they run the football.
Scoring drive late in the half. Noles converted their last 2 third downs. They need 4 here. Another throw. Francois fires, tipped away at the last minute. Nice job to break up the play there. Had a man open. The Rebels using all sorts of different faces in the defensive backfield now with the injuries.
Yeah, that looked like Moore, who did a good job. He had a couple receivers open underneath, decides to take a chance because I think he's so confident in Travis Rudolph to make the play. So he tried to squeeze it in, probably could have checked it down for the first down. But a great play there by Moore, who hasn't played much at all tonight.
So Ricky Aguayo, with his big brother Roberto watching, knocks it just down the middle, just like Roberto used to do. So the Noles 10 points in short order here to trim the lead to 12. Remember the last time that Chad Kelly and Rebels offense had the ball in a meaningful possession? They had a big lead. Now all of a sudden it's a 12-point game. So Kelly, play action again, working the middle of the field. That one's incomplete. Well defended there. Trey Marshall begin to focus in on Evan Ingram, who was the focal point of the passing game in the first half.
Yeah, that time Matthew Thomas, the inside linebacker, actually did a really good job of reading the eyes of Chad Kelly. He led him right to the throw.
Again, this one intended for Ingram, off his hands and intercepted. Marcus Lewis, the second pick for Kelly, but that one was on the receiver.
And the ball's coming in, and that's a ball that Ingram typically would make a catch, give him a chance there on third down. This is what Florida State does. Again, I keep going back to 2014. Just when you think things are looking terribly, they're able to turn it around. That is amazing. That's Marcus Lewis, a sophomore. who's out covering somebody else. Tip ball, that's why you always want to have your head around. Ball's in the air, he goes down and makes a big interception to give the young freshman quarterback great field position.
One of those guys in the old secondary who can play multiple positions. Makes him even more valuable. So now Francois trying to further cut into the lead. Steps up, gets away, and incomplete. Again, knocked down after the throw. Guys all around his feet and ankles as he tries to get it away, Kurt.
Yeah, that is, again, a great job by the big man, DJ Jones, getting in there and applying that pressure. Forcing him, you know, they want to get after that quarterback before he is ready to let that ball fly. His receiver is breaking free, but because of the pressure up front, he really didn't. That play didn't have much of a chance. DJ Jones, 93 again, in the middle of that defense.
On 2nd and 10, quarterback was waiting for something, didn't happen, but just takes off. Francois in the open field, diving toward the pylon, knocked out short. Wasn't pretty at the beginning of the play, but it worked out well.
Ole Miss had the play sniffed out. Bobo Wilson came in motion. Good block here by Rudolph to give his quarterback even more of a chance to get it into the end zone. But Ole Miss had this play defended. Watch Tony Connor right here. He cannot lose contain on the quarterback. They saw Bobo Wilson coming in motion. They knew what to expect. Quarterback aborted the play, took off, and Tony Connor loses contain.
Wes Patrick in the I formation on 1st and goal. Got a big defensive tackle in there. They hand it up short to the fullback, who muscles near the goal line. Stevenson thinks he scored.
Well, I thought he did too.
He did. Yep. There's a consensus late. And Lewis's pick. Francois' scramble. Stevenson's touchdown. And here come the Noles.
Interception. Nice play by the young quarterback on a broken play to pick up huge yards. And then the fullback dive. Old school to get it into the end zone. And you're right. Just like that, we're not even 5 minutes into the second half, and Florida State about to cut this within 5. And they sure have taken advantage of their 2 opportunities here to start this second half.
Well, was a big lead, is down to 5. Interception made by Marcus Lewis off the carom by Ingram. Quarterback scampers down close and sets up Stevenson's touchdown run. All of a sudden, the pressure back on Kelly and the Rebels. They were their own worst enemies in the first half. 11 penalties, fell behind 28-6, but they have roared to a 17-point run. And now Chad Kelly and that Rebels offense trying to rediscover some of the first half magic. Davis brings it out, had the edge, but stumbled at the 15. Kelly, a rare handoff to Judd. Hugh Freeze, low expectations really for the running game tonight, and they haven't got much other than Kelly's scrambles.
Isn't it always amazing? A defense that has been maligned and confused. Offense makes a few plays, energy comes up in the building, and all of a sudden it feels different with that Florida State defense. This is where Chad Kelly's got to step up and make a play.
Grassley ran on late, so they gave the Noles a chance to substitute. They didn't, and Kelly is chased, lost the ball. It's out, still being fought for. Florida State's got it.
And who makes the play? The leader, DeMarcus Walker, comes from the offense's left all the way around to not give up on his play. Tremendous effort right here. Watch him with an inside move, a little move to the outside. He goes right by him, and he's such a good athlete. This ball is definitely knocked loose. He did not bring his arm forward. The ball is loose, and the rest of the Florida State defense sees the ball on the ground and jumps on it.
Derek Nottie with the recovery. 2 Rebel turnovers in the last 3 plays from scrimmage. And the Noles, if you can believe it, can take the lead right here. Cook makes a cut, muscles down to the 5. As the war chant echoes through this, quote, neutral field.
It's the second time that they've run this power play where they bring the left guard, Derek Kelly, around to lead the way for Cook. And it's set up by great blocks on the play side by that right side of that offensive line and the tight end, Izzo, to open up some room for Kelly to come around. And if you give Dalvin Cook a chance to get downhill, it's very tough to tackle him.
First down line is at the 1. Second down, Cook again. Cut down short. It'll be 3rd and 2. Zedrick Woods and Caldwell tackled him.
Those safeties and linebackers for Ole Miss down in this area. Obviously, their backs up against the end zone. They've got to fire downhill in a hurry, especially when you know Dalvin Cook's more than likely going to get the football. They line up in the I formation. They're about 80%, 90% guaranteed to give the ball to their talented tailback.
They were a poor 3rd down team, 9th in the ACC last year.
Just said how they get into the I formation. Remember the bootleg or the naked with an athletic quarterback, also an option.
They flip it on the end. Whitfield. Florida State takes the lead. A furious rally fueled by a couple of turnovers, and the Noles are in front improbably.
Watch the linebackers in this area right here. They get frozen because of the respect for Dalvin Cook. They're frozen just enough because of that respect, and they get outflanked. And he's able to get a block by the fullback and walk into the end zone with that speed from Whitfield.
They go for 2 now, up 1 to stretch it to a 3-point lead. Freeze's defense reeling all of a sudden. Whitfield, who scored, comes to the sidelines. Francois looks across the middle and a misfire there. Auden Tate, the sophomore, is running inside. The throw went outside. So 2-pointer fails, but the Noles up by a point.
Well, this Deondre Francois growing up right in front of our eyes and his head coach's eyes.
This Ole Miss defense depleted, as you said, especially in the secondary. Still getting after him up front, but they're finding ways to get the ball out and make plays downfield. Davis will not bring it out.
This is where the best player on the field and the best quarterback in the nation, arguably, at least in his mind, needs to make plays for his team.
He's 2 of 9 since the fast start. Brasley trying to make a play in the running game. That sweep is thrown down. Look, Derwin James up there like a safety, looking like a middle linebacker.
Really hard against a Florida State defense with that kind of speed to run a slow developing counter play with a couple of linemen that are leading the way.
2nd and 7, incomplete. Threw the ball off the hands of Stringfellow, and it's going to be 3rd and long.
Ball is thrown in a place where Stringfellow in the first half was making those plays.
He's just crawling off of the field, but the Rebels aren't slowing down. Kelly downfield, threw it behind Jefferson, who couldn't fight the way back. That was freshman versus freshman Levante Taylor in coverage, and it's 4th down.
Charles Kelly dials up a nice twist up front. And the reason he couldn't get the ball there is Jacob Pugh came from the right all the way around into the middle, and it gets to Chet. See how he comes around all the way around. They didn't pick him up, and Kelly gets hit right as he releases the ball. He couldn't get anything on it to get the ball to an open receiver in Van Jefferson.
Will Gleason, the Aussie, in the punt. The downside of running tempo and trying to be urgent is that when you don't make a first down, defense is right back on the field. Gleason, a low boot, bounces, and what a play trying to field the ball inexplicably was Wilson. Knowles very, very fortunate to retain possession. Wow. He got creamed, but the decision you have to question.
Yeah, that ball looked like Terry Caldwell might have been the one down covering, and he hit him. It either looked like either just before or maybe just as the ball was actually touching Wilson.
So the Knowles back to work, up a point, but avoiding disaster here in traffic. Wilson with a rough decision. They need 10. Francois scampers free in the open field. First down, much more. Still running. Cuts it back, knocked down at the 45. Is this the same guy we saw in the first quarter?
I'm telling you, the game's slowing down for him, and he's making great decisions. This time, Ole Miss blitzes, and they spy with 21 this time. Caldwell, he's actually in position here to make the play, but because of the speed of Francois, he's able to get to the corner and pick up the first down.
That's his second 31-yard run tonight. Opponents will have to deal with that his whole career. From the pocket now, short strike, and the catch is made by Devontae Phillips, who gets involved for the first time. Picks up about 8.
With these backup corners in the game, they're giving a big cushion on the edge. And Tony Bridges, who's played a lot of football last year, number one, he's not 100% healthy and at times guesses, and so they've kind of backed off. And it's a good job of adjusting by Jimbo Fisher and Deondre Francois, recognizing that and not necessarily going downfield, but using some receivers to clear that defensive backfield out and then just go underneath.
2nd and 2. They feed the fullback Stevenson. Kirk, this Rebels defense has been on the field a long time tonight. They've had the ball less than 12 minutes. Knowles had about 28 minutes. Are they wearing down here?
Well, Coach Womack, Dave Womack's done a good job for Hugh Freeze, the defensive coordinator, and he mentioned that in our meeting yesterday, the importance in this heat, humidity, and this being excited, rotating bodies. He said that, you know, we've got a bunch of people up front we're going to play. We got a lot of linebackers, and so they're very confident. But, you know, you start to look at how many plays they've been out there. This is the 60th snap right now.
You fake it to Patrick. Francois, wide open Izzo. Dragged down to the 2. Everything Jimbo's dialing up is working now.
Yeah, he just gets lost. What a well-designed play by Jimbo Fisher with play action. The play action and rolling to his right gets the defense going one way. Right here's Izzo, who's going to work his way down the sideline. Watch how he just eventually gets lost, kind of hesitates. Linebacker loses him. And that's a nice job by the quarterback as well, just letting the play develop, showing patience. You're trying to get the defense out of position, and it's exactly what they did.
It's Patrick again in for Cook in the I formation. Gets it and gets stacked up. Florida State threatening to make this a 30-zip run since they trail 28-6.
Talk about a tale of two halves.
You see a lot of 30-zip runs between two high-quality teams.
Ole Miss in the second half, what, 7 plays, -1 yards, 2 turnovers.
With Cook watching, Patrick and Stevenson, and a throw to a wide open Izzo to cap the drive.
Monyeyo, a transfer from Oregon State, just doesn't pick up Izzo. Middle linebacker who's not played a lot tonight, number 8. He just doesn't see him. Izzo goes right behind him. You can see number 8 there trailing. Nobody picked him up. And he's the main target, he and Rudolph, when they get down inside that 5 or 10 yard line. That's who they want to throw the ball to. But again, Maneo has not played a lot of football. And talking to Chris, what you were saying earlier, rotating a lot of bodies in there. You'd standing on the sidelines most of the game. You got to be mentally sharp when you come into the game. Know your assignments. That time, blown coverage, easy throw for Francois.
Wild, perfect again. A dozen minutes on the clock. The Noles have put together a 30-0 run. Rebels reeling now in Orlando. Hang on. Deondre Francois has turned around this debut game in his hometown. Remember Jameis against Pittsburgh, Labor Day weekend, trying to prove to his teammates, everybody, that he deserved the starting job over Jake Coker. Tough quarterback competition that monster night. A little different situation for Francois.
Well, I think it's different because of what he's had to deal with, the defense he's faced, the offensive line play early in the game. He didn't have very much help, but boy, he has settled into this game.
Flag down as Davis bounces the return. Gets the edge. It is knocked down short of the 25.
If you're Ole Miss and Chad Kelly, you need one play. You need a play to stop the bleeding.
Quarterback keeps it. Gets a block, but is tackled at the 30. Derwin James, can you block him?
Well, not to mention that a 4-year starter at tight end, Evan Ingram, is trying to block him. I mean, Derwin James is one of the more talented players in the country. Say he can play any position on this defense. He's so versatile. I said nose guard? Oh yeah, he'll play anywhere.
Hugh Freeze said it's, quote, alarming how good he is. Batted down to the line of scrimmage. The big boys up front for the Noles starting to impose themselves. That's DeMarcus Christmas.
Yeah, when you throw a pass like that, he's trying to get a wheel route down the sideline. You got to get back and have a little bit of suddenness, a little quickness to the drop and to get the ball out. A little deliberate there, and again, kind of staring that receiver down that time, and allowed Christmas to time it up and bat it down.
3rd and 9 and some urgency for Ole Miss. Kelly dropped. DeMarcus Walker got him again. The man who forced the fumble last series ends this series.
Yeah, right against the left guard Patterson, and this is men against boys. He is a defensive end that they move on 3rd down into the inside. Watch this move right here against the sophomore. A little swim move, gets around him, and I'll tell you, when he gets in after the quarterback, you're in no man's land. He has such strong hands and quickness side to side. He's going to bring you down every time.
Wunderlich, it's a punt. You see a Bobo Wilson makes a sensible decision this time. Yes, just makes the fair catch at the 25-yard line. At the 3rd quarter yards, 190 to -7. They got 18 on 3rd and 15 with a run. That's a deflating play for a defense group that's already gassed. They better get stout right now before this thing gets out of hand.
You know, and they had played so well on those first 2 plays. They get the 3rd down and they give up the 1st down, and now they get to start all over again trying to slow down Dalvin Cook. And when Cook gets going, that play action pass game becomes so much more lethal for Francois in the underneath passing game, because those linebackers and safeties have to respect the threat of Cook running the ball.
Francois escapes, fires, sideline, caught, 1st down. Again, Wilson.
And there is the cushion. Look at this cushion. They roll him out where he's comfortable, but look at this right here, and he's bailing. I mean, there's the 1st down marker right here. You're bailing out. You're already giving him a 10-yard cushion, and now you're bailing out. But again, it's a true freshman out there on an island by himself, and that's how they're trying to protect him. But Jimbo doing a good job at just saying, if you're going to give us a 1st down, we'll roll out and take it every time.
If you wandered away for a moment, you might be stunned. Florida State, a 30-zip run, once down by 22, will now start the final quarter up by 8, looking for more in Orlando. The Camping World Kickoff, presented by National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, set for the final quarter after a 3rd period of total FSU domination. -7 total yards for Ole Miss. There was a time in this game where they were way ahead in total yards. Now it's 446 to 305. The Rebels have been going backwards.
60 minutes of football, right?
At least.
Wait, I'm saying when you play the Noles, you play them for 60.
Isn't that part of Jimbo's pregame speech? Francois pulls it, fires it, far side. And all of a sudden, all this underneath stuff is wide open. That's Rudolph.
You know, with those defensive backs, again, giving that cushion. This is something that even towards the end of the first half, the coaches upstairs and Jimbo recognize that not only do you accomplish getting great yards, you just make it so much easier on the quarterback. Surprised that Dave Womack, the defensive coordinator from Ole Miss, isn't rolling the dice a bit and taking that cushion away and trying to force him to go around him. Maybe he just doesn't fears that big play potential.
They desperately need to create a turnover. Haven't yet. Francois fires toward the end zone, just over the hands. Whitfield was running there, defended by Bridges.
And again, that's the matchup. They're going after Bridges. That must have been the film study all week long. If you see number one isolated without a safety behind him, we're going after him. Because no matter where he is lined up, whether he's playing corner on the outside, nickel back on the inside, Francois every single time is dialing up number one. That time he was actually on the inside against Whitfield. Whitfield beat him with that soft cushion for the touchdown. He just couldn't hold on to the ball.
To your point, Kirk, this is a huge third down play. You need 6. Play clock at 2. Got to hurry. They just get it off. Pressure immediately. An attempted pass. The ball's loose. Still fighting for it. Signaled, fumbled, Ole Miss recovery.
Well, they'll take a look at this to see if that right arm was coming forward.
Marquise Haynes delivered the shot.
Haynes came in from behind, but Sean Youngblood actually forced the ball to come out, Chris, from in front of him.
Jimbo wants to check the big board.
Watch 38 come from the top of your screen. Haynes flushes him, actually almost has it, but right there, by him pushing him, is what got the ball, forced the ball to come out.
The arm was coming forward.
Looked like his right arm was coming forward. The hand.
Yeah, his arm was coming forward. It was hit.
Ruling on the field is changed to an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th down and 6 at the 23-yard line. Timekeeper, please put 13 minutes and 2 seconds on the clock. 13:02.
Francois probably shouldn't have thrown the ball in that situation, Kirk, but ends up not costing them a turnover. And now we'll see Aguayo, who has those big shoes to fill. His brother Roberto is here, and the true freshman has made his first 3. This is from 40.
Makes it a 2-possession game here if he makes it.
He was backed up and then chose to walk up and confer with Jack Steed, his holder. And you're right, this is crucial. Is the lead still 8? And stretch to 11. And the kicking Aguayo family continues to shine. 4 for 4. Ice water in his veins.
I got ice
Is
in
that
my
what he's
veins.
saying?
Yeah, I got ice in my veins.
It is a 2-possession game. Ricky Aguayo, a true freshman, 4 for 4 tonight. And Logan Tyler, the true freshman, kicks off. We've been saying true freshman a lot tonight. Defense running out of fuel. Kelly sidesteps the rush, launches it downfield to Ingram, who makes a spectacular catch in traffic at the 30.
Wow.
Wow.
It's one-on-one. Straight man. They used formation. 5 receivers from left sideline to the right sideline. No safeties behind. It was just man-to-man backyard football, and he found his man one-on-one against the corner.
42-yard gain. Now a slam underneath as Adebojo fights for another first down.
I know they haven't had any success here in the second half, but they score quickly. Their 4 scoring drives tonight, minute 46, 2:19, a minute 56, minute 45.
Kelly near silent. It's a low throw caught by Van Jefferson, whose dad, Sean, 13 years in the NFL, now an NFL receiver coach. Take another look. Did they rule that?
That's a good catch.
Incomplete? Okay. Just a 3-yard gain, though. Kelly now lofting it in the end zone. Caught for a touchdown. That was Jefferson working free. Beat Trey Marshall, who was trying to grab a hold of him. A flag is down. I think it's going to be on the defensive back.
Yeah, it's going to be on Marshall, defensive holding.
You said, Kirk, it only takes a play.
Yep.
And that was the long connection to Ingram, and suddenly the Rebels are back in business.
That was an amazing throw by Chad Kelly. Again, nothing has gone right in this second half. The big throw to Ingram, but what he just did to the freshman, Van Jefferson, the anticipation, he put it up into the air before Jefferson was ready. He was still trying to fight to get open. He's off to the left. Ball's in the air. He's still trying to get open. And next thing you know, he looks up. Ball hits him right in the hands.
First career touchdown for the guy with the great receiver bloodlines. And now the Rebels down 5, go for 2. Kelly, incomplete. Tried to rifle the ball to Stringfellow. Tipped there. And so the lead is still 5. But Ole Miss is hanging on.
We just said don't turn this TV off, because when they score, they score quickly. I talked about their previous drives. This one was only 47 seconds. Puts it up in the air, perfectly timed after Jefferson was interfered. I mean, look, watch the freshman trying to get off of Trey Marshall here, and to still be able to throw this after he was held, boom, right in his hands.
Now, when it was desperately needed, Kelly produced on that drive after a very frustrating third quarter. 4 for 4. In all 75 yards of the drive, it took exactly 47 seconds.
That can impact your defense. We've seen Francois' success get his defense playing with a little bit of mojo. That drive can get the Ole Miss defense back into the game as well.
Noble boots it right to Whitfield, who fielded almost accidentally at the goal line. Breaks free. Kermit Whitfield. Just couldn't quite break free, but in his hometown, he grew up in a very tough area of Orlando, just a couple of blocks from this stadium. Almost busted it, but perhaps reclaimed momentum.
And you and I called a game in a national championship when he had a huge return, a couple good blocks. He has such a good feel. If he can just be able to get through that initial surge of the defense or the kickoff coverage team, right there, that cut right there got him into space. And now the poor kicker, he's just trying to get him back into the rest of that coverage team. They're fortunate he didn't go by the kicker.
He got 46 yards. Rebels rush 4, close in, and I'm fired over the middle, complete. Rudolph, a crucial 3rd and long. He takes another shot, but delivers, Kirk.
Well, this is a good job of reading coverage. He needed time, because you're going to have a receiver come across the middle to occupy Gates, which opens up a void behind it. Watch the receiver come across. Gates steps up. And how about the courage to make that throw on 3rd down and long? Gates should sink back, make him throw it in front, and then you can make a tackle. But by going up, makes it an easier throw and an automatic 1st down to his best receiver in Rudolph.
They got 27. They've converted 2 3rd and 15s in a row. One on a quick run, and then that completion. Now Dalvin's got it again. And it's another huge emotional and physical test for this defense.
We said the last time Florida State was down here, the importance of, can they force a field goal versus a touchdown? Now here we are, 10 minutes, and I know they can score fast, but this is big. This is a big sequence of plays here for a beat-up Ole Miss defense against a Florida State offense that, again, has a lot of confidence with this quarterback.
It's kind of the same deal, isn't it? They can force a field goal, still a 1-score game.
Yep. Field goal and you're down 8, touchdown, and wow, makes it very tough.
Second and 10. Francois just throws it into the bench. Again, he was knocked down. Isaac Gross gave chase. How many shots has the young guy taken? He kind of holding his left knee there.
How about Gross, the leader of this defense? They lost a lot from last year. Watch him in the middle. Watch how fast he is. He's 260 pounds. chasing down the quarterback, and he came down on him. And
He's been limping around.
Yeah, you can see Francois. I don't know if it's a cramp or if it's an injury, but he's definitely noticeable limp after that play, after getting chased down by Gross. Another 3rd down and long.
Yep, they need 10 this time.
Played zone on the last 3rd down.
Gets it out quickly. Catch made by Murray, one of the young receivers in this team. Naquan knocked down. It's 4th down. And the Rebels defense is able to get a hold, and here comes Aguayo for a 5th field goal attempt tonight.
Last time he had ice in his veins, right?
He did?
On the kick.
Yeah.
That's what he told us.
This is his longest attempt, though. This one's going to be from 44 yards. He's been good on 2 chip shots and 2 40-yarders. To stay perfect in his young career and making an 8-point lead. Wow. How many more Aguayo brothers are there? Do they have 3 or 4 more? Because they can all kick the ball between the uprights.
No doubt.
8-point game. 9:16 to play in Orlando. A back and forth game. A couple of seismic momentum shifts here. The Noles lead is 8. So Kelly, off that very quick 75-yard touchdown drive, get back to work. Only one quarterback in the country had more throws of 20+ yards last year, and that was Jared Goff. This is Ingram, a short play across the 30, but a nice 1st down gain.
Nice high percentage throw to get this drive started.
All the categories, Kirk, that highlight arm strength. Balls thrown outside the numbers or downfield. Kelly among the best in all those categories last year. 2nd and 4. Lofted over the head of Adebojo, who was behind McFadden. That was a missed opportunity.
The success of Ingram can draw the defense's attention, and watch what happens when Ingram works here and how it opens up the sideline. Because of so much success, he gets pulled in.
Kelly is swarmed and dropped, and that 3rd and 4 play is blown up by the Noles defense, and they're going to get the football back.
They just collapsed the pocket. 3 different Noles working their way and just overpowering the Ole Miss offensive line. Big night tonight for DeMarcus Walker. Nadi also. 3rd down and long. That Ole Miss offensive line didn't have much of a chance there.
She only needed 4, but the pressure so great. And now pressure right back on the Ole Miss defense. It's the tough SEC defense. Pulls it, flips it far side, another completion. Again, it's Wilson and Whitfield just giving a hard time to the secondary.
That's pitch and catch against that cushion again. They're going to have to take the cushion away. He's rolling out which he's comfortable with. Bridges is turned again. How many times have they gone after Bridges? What I say the scouting report must have said, if one's by himself, you get without a safety over top, you got to attack him. And they've done that. When they needed a big play, they've gone his way.
Still throwing, still catching. Here's Whitfield, and he's shoved out. Noles smelling blood here. Up 8 already. Trying to make this a 2-score game. Perhaps use some clock in the meantime.
You keep thinking use some clock, and yet they've only used 1:29 at this point, and it's because Jimbo Fisher, what you said, smelling blood. Up 8, under 7 minutes to go, and so far on this drive, instead of being conservative and just giving it to Cook and working the clock, I mean, they're giving it to the freshman quarterback, and they're going after that Ole Miss defense.
I wonder if they'll keep doing it, or if he might begin to milk some play clock a little bit more now. And they flip it around the end. Whitfield bangs down to the 15. It's going to be 3rd down. Look at those Rebels defenders just kind of slowly walking back to the center of the field. Check it, 2nd down here, and they're beginning to kind of pull back on the tempo now, use some more play clock. Cook Darts forward. He's near the marker.
You know, the battle in the trenches on this side of the ball has been pretty intense. They're going to come up a little bit short. You know, at this point, it's about who's in the best shape and who's able to keep their wits and battle through that fatigue.
He is stuffed. Stock short, Cook. No gain there. It'll be 4th down. A.J. Moore, the nickel, flew in there. So Jimbo, a decision to make here.
Well,
not happy they didn't make the first. I think he was expecting to make the first down.
I think you got to kick the field goal, don't you? Make it a 2-possession game.
Well, Aguayo trying to make it a 6th field goal, which, if good, would give him a school record for field goals in a game. A bunch of guys share that record, including his big brother.
Yeah, you got to kick it. Right?
So your brother's an all-world kicker. You come in, you replace him as a true freshman, and you go out and you break a school record, perhaps for field goals in your debut. The quarterback's not the only guy that's gotten off to a good start tonight for Florida State in their career. That one is not the prettiest, but it looks just fine on the score sheet. May have been tipped at the line, kind of knuckled through in a line drive, but 6 for 6. And the Noles go up 11 in the final 5 minutes.
It did look like somebody got a hand on it. It might have been Tony Bridges, number 1. He got up in the air. Definitely tapped there by Bridges.
Seminoles up 11, but they were once down by 22 in the second quarter. If they win this game, it's the largest comeback victory in school history, surpassing, Kirk, the game you saw when that man brought him back at Louisville on a Thursday night.
Yeah, that became really a year-long trend, getting down. I was standing on the sideline at Papa John's on that Thursday night and watched Jameis bring him back.
They scored in their last 9 possessions. The faces may change, but the culture in this program is such that Fisher said it. We heard him in the locker room before the game. 60 minutes, 60 minutes. Just keep battling, never give up. 7 straight regular season games, and they've trailed at halftime to come back and win. Didn't do it in the bowl game, but think about that. Well, 7 straight in regular season.
Yeah, and they were down 28-6 in this game. Penalty.
I'm gonna check what the school record for penalties is. That's their 15th. Again, throwing downfield, almost intercepted. McFadden got his hands up in front of Lodge.
Interesting decision there by Kelly. Second time in a row he goes to his left, back into the boundary. And remember, Ingram, let me circle him here. Ingram has been up here, has been the target, but they have a safety back behind him to help.
This time he dumps it off short to Judd, but he is wrestled down for no gain. It'll be 3rd and long. Matthew Thomas on the stop.
Charles Kelly had a defense that was confused and on its heels and had some mental errors. Made some adjustments and have been in a better position. They are now playing with these safeties back behind to help out their man-to-man coverage.
They need 10, Kirk. You'd have to believe Freeze would go for it if they don't get this first down. Unless they lose big yardage here.
You almost have to.
Louder than it's been all night. Kelly working back far side. Receiver broke off the route. It's 4th and 10.
And see, it's such a hard thing for Hugh Freeze to call these plays without tempo and without Florida State looking over the sidelines and being confused. I mean, this is slow and methodical, and it's very different trying to execute against Florida State in this kind of scenario than when they're looking over to get the call and they're not quite lined up and then you snap the ball. This is just take your time, and a lot of times when it's that case, the better athletes usually win.
Feels like last gasp for a team that was once up 22. Kelly delivers behind the receiver. Catch made, 1st down. Stringfellow just held on.
He's trying to give it a back shoulder fade, but the ball was way underthrown. And how about that? all 3 timeouts remaining, which they'll want to hold until their defense is back out there if they score.
Judd takes the pitch, stutter steps, short gain.
Not only does it give them a first down and keep them in the game, now you have a better chance of tempo. Again, tempo is where they can get after a defense and make them lose that aggressiveness.
Kelly, protection breaks down again. He's dropped again. DeMarcus Walker one more time. Can you have a better game as a pass rusher?
I don't think so. That was, and Walker gets his 4th sack, but the secondary also deserves a lot of credit for being able to come up with great coverage. Kelly wanted to throw it. He wanted to get rid of it. There's nowhere to throw the ball.
4.5 sacks for the man who had 10.5 a year ago. 3rd and 16. Working down the sidelines to Lodge, intercepted by McFadden. And that could do it. Pressured again. A 3rd pick for Kelly to go with a fumble. That one just out of desperation.
Yeah, McFadden is a long corner that's into the boundary. 6'2", 198 pounds. He just didn't get a whole lot on that. The pressure off to his right. I don't know if that impacted him or affected him in any way. It was Derwin James coming in with the ball well underthrown. And McFadden again, who's been in position a number of times. And what I love is he turns and finds the ball. That time he's able to hold on to the interception. Remember, the one time he had an interception in the end zone and Metcalf knocked it away from him. That time he obviously gets it.
So the Noles up 11. Just trying to put the finishing touches on the biggest comeback in school history. Dalvin Cook breaks free. And will just slide down inbounds at midfield. And is limping off. And that is not a great sign. This is a man that battled ankle and hamstring problems all of last year. This may be a cramp, but he's going to head to the sidelines.
Yeah, going to check out. He's up to 91 yards running the football, but of course we've talked all night about how they've used him out of the backfield. 7 catches, 101 yards.
This is a night they'll never forget in the Seminole Nation. It looked like a hapless start. Cook drops the ball, going for an easy touchdown. 11 penalties, 22-point deficit. And in his hometown, in his first game, Deondre Francois and a charged up defense lead a comeback. Walker out of his mind as a pass rusher tonight. Jimbo was talking about defense before this game, and now we get a taste of why. 580 yards total offense for Fisher's offense.
You think Jimbo's going to have a voice for Sam?
Ooh, what could he possibly? Let's find out.
That was going to be my first question. Do you have a voice left?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll try here, Coach. You said coming into this one there were a lot of unknowns. So what do you know now?
Well, we know we got a bunch of competitors and fighters. We got a lot of stuff to clean up. We were far from perfect. Too many penalties, missed assignments, and we got the jitters out. But what I love is the way they responded to adversity at halftime. I don't want to get down anymore, but I love the group, and we have a chance to be a very good football team if we just keep progressing. We got a lot of work to do.
How were they able to respond, Coach? Was it something you said? What was the difference?
Listen, when you do that, you can inspire as a coach. It's either in them or it ain't. And you don't win because you want to, you win because you train to. We put them through a hard camp. These kids fought, scratched. That's just the things we do at Florida State.
And how about Walker's performance? And again, we're going to talk a lot about Jimbo and Francois, but you also have to talk about Charles Kelly and the adjustments that defense made. Looked like a different team for the first half to the second half, and how well they played after having some mental errors in that first half. They settled in and played great.